Or we're gonna try something new today. We're gonna record a screen, and I did have some gameplay recorded, but I don't know if I really want to use it. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about Adobe because something that gets brought up a lot and something that always kind of pisses me off a bit is two arguments: is Windows plays all my games and Windows has Adobe AutoCAD, all the shit that maybe if you were a professional, your work would pay for a computer with it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it on your home computer. You know what I mean? So what has happened though? I use Windows because I use Adobe. Now you've got two problems. The first one is you're using Windows. That's the first thing because if you're using like just Windows 10 or 11, whatever Adobe supports, and you already have a crazy amount of spyware there. Now Adobe, because they are software as a service, they have this Creative Cloud bullshit. So they are they control what the software does on your machine. You know what I mean? I know that sounds kind of Stallman-esque, but that's just kind of how it works. So what they have done though now is now that they have this AI thing that they ship with it, now they can take all of the stuff you make in the program, not pay you for it, and just use it to train their AI. So needless to say, a lot of the professionals that use Adobe software that said, "Oh, I just use Windows, it just works because it works with my Adobe software. I need my proprietary software to do my work." They are now getting screwed. And kind of like I warned them, I said, look, Adobe's this proprietary software. You don't know what they're going to do next. They already have so many issues. You already have issues because you're using Windows. What are you going to do? I said, you need to start learning GIMP. You need to start learning Krita. You need to start learning Inkscape and you need to start learning Kdenlive because DaVinci Resolve, whatever. You can't keep using this software because you don't have control over it, and eventually it's going to come back to bite you. Well, now that it's coming back to bite people, they decided I'm not going to learn this new software. I'm not going to learn Inkscape. I'm not going to learn GIMP. I'm not going to learn Krita. I'm going to keep using proprietary software, and much like because they're using Windows, all they can do is complain because they never took the time to learn. So, I mean, like, I used to use Fireworks back in the day. I used to use Photoshop because that's what I learned on. That's what they taught us in school, you know? But like most people, I had to crack the software. I had to fucking pirate it because I couldn't afford it. So I got to the point though where I got sick and tired of trying to crack Adobe software, and I had already started playing around with Linux. So I was like, I really need something that runs on Windows and Linux, and I need something that is free and supports the latest image formats because Fireworks was killed off, which is how I first got screwed by Adobe because Fireworks did everything I needed it to do. I didn't actually use Photoshop all that much. A lot of the stuff I was doing was in Fireworks, and when that got discontinued, they didn't support the latest image formats. Like I think it was JPEG XL was the problem. WebP obviously didn't exist, Um, that became a problem because I needed the software to do what I was doing. I actually did some professional work, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to learn to do everything in GIMP. And it turns out GIMP could mostly do what I wanted it to do. It's missing a few features, like making GIFs is kind of difficult. Uh, Pixel art's kind of more difficult to do, but I can probably find another program for that. And some of the UI elements I still haven't completely worked out yet. So, but I am learning, I am taking the time to learn. And if I ever got a Wacom tablet, I'd probably install Krita. But yeah, it's just kind of become a problem now that like this what would you call it? These people that are using this proprietary software and they start complaining, but like, hey, you're stuck using proprietary software, so you really have no right to complain because what are you gonna do? You can't stop paying for it. It's the only tool you know how to use. Or you can complain that GIMP doesn't do everything you need it to. That's perfectly valid, but for the most part, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You're stuck with it because you're stuck on this proprietary software. and especially software as a service. I mean, they can change the terms at any moment, you know. So I don't know. I feel like these people really kind of lose their leg to stand on when they tell you flat out, no, I refuse to learn new software. This is what I need. Okay, then you can't complain when when the software you need stops working how you need, you know? Because there are alternatives out there and you need to start looking for them. And that's why it's so important. That's why I would never say anything super and that's why I would never be like super arrogant as to like say that GIMP or Krita are bad software because they're the only alternative we got, you know? That's pretty much all you get. So, I don't know. I feel like I've rambled on enough about that, and the boss is starting. So I'll see you in a bit. Thanks.